Hello and welcome everyone. Today we'll talk about beer and the ingredients of beer. So let us first know the history of beer. There is evidence that the brewing process was established in Babylon in 6000 BC. Egyptians improved upon the process and Romans started for the commercial purpose. The Normans carried the process to England when they conquered it. In England, the beer drinking house, which was known as pub, is originated. These houses were represented by signboards of king head or red roasters. The term beer covers drink like ale, lager, stout, etc. The addition of hops started in the middle of the 16th century. The beer gets its name from Anglo-Saxon word called beer, which means barley. An interesting fact is that generally beer making countries doesn't produce quality wine. So this was all about the history of beer. So let's come and see the ingredients in the beer making process. So the first ingredients that we need is grain. Grains are of different types which you know, like maize, barley, etc. But for beer making we mainly use barley. The botanical name is Hordeum vulgara. It is used but can be produced from wheat, rice or combination of grains. The small amount of grains added along with barley is termed as adjacent, but it cannot be more than 35% of the total grain that we use. The higher adjacent can make lower the aroma, flavor and the taste of the beer. The next ingredients that we have is one of the important ingredients in beer, which give its flavor, act as a preservative, has an antiseptic value and gives the aroma. In fact, it helps in as a clarifying agent, which is known as hops. These are corn or flour obtained from a plant hop vine. These are 5 meters long and last about 20 years. The botanical name of hops is Humulus lupulus, derived from Roman word which means sheep along wolf. Corn or flowers of female species is used for beer making because of yellow thick substance called lupulin. It contains alpha acid called humulones, which contributes to flavor, antiseptic and preservative. This yellow thick substance is the main thing which give the beer that typical bitter taste. The next ingredients we need is yeast. Yeast is an microorganisms caused the fermentation. Only seen when mashed together. It was discovered by Otto van Leeuwenhoek in 1865 and in 1857 Louis Pasteur explained the function of yeast in details. The next ingredient which helps in beer making is water. Water gives the body to the beer because it contains about 90% of water in beer. The quality of mineral content affect the characters of brew. Liquor is term given for water by brewers. Water contains 6 main salt, namely bicarbonate, sodium, chloride, calcium, magnesium and sulfate, which helps in the beer making process. The next ingredient, it is not as known as the main ingredient, which is sugar. It can be added because it helps to speed up the fermentation. It helps the fermentation because yeast, the microorganisms, they eat the sugar and releases the carbon dioxide, which is known as the fermentation process. The grains as well as hops, it contains sugar, but if we add extra amount of sugar, the fermentation process, it speeds up. Next, if we put sugar, it reduces the bitterness. The bitterness is due to the flour because flour contains pollen in it and which tastes bitter. So sometimes if hope is added more to the beer process, then the taste turns out to be quite bitter. So to reduce it, we add sugar. Next work of sugar is to give the color, because the sugar is caramelized, and as we know, when the sugar we caramelize the sugar, the color of the sugar turns out to be golden. So this helps in giving the color to the beer. And the last is to cause secondary fermentation in the beer. So thank you for watching the video.